but if you feel comfortable, please make sure that you know that you're allowed to open up your camera and open up your mic and ask questions and participate. This recording does tend to end up on YouTube channel for Lisa's organization so that you guys can review it later. But yeah, I would love to have some participation tonight. It's a really hot topic. I mean, everybody talks about the e-commerce of it all and all the money that's to be had. Actually, it's in the billions for the whole e-commerce thing. And what does that mean anyway? And I would love to also know in the chat, anyone who has already started an e-commerce business, business you're thinking about, niches or specific industries that you're thinking about, because then I can kind of incorporate them as we go, pull together a lot of stuff. We have a very short hour here together, but that's okay because I talk really fast. And again, don't worry, we are recording, so you can pause me, rewind me, and slow me down later. So that's a good thing too. All right, so before we get jumped into the class and what we're going to cover, I am going to tell you just a short bit about me because I think it's important for you to know who's working with you. I am the Italian mother of 7. I have been speaking nationally throughout the country as a keynote for some of the major Fortune 100s, some really large government entities for more than 25 years. I am licensed in 6 intelligences and had the honor of teaching 40 of Microsoft's executive leaders. I've also done training for Exelon in the art of negotiation. I own my own consulting firm. I do sales and marketing consulting, LinkedIn and social media training. And then I also have a virtual assistant membership program. And at this point, we have almost 50 virtual assistants from all over the world, and we're approaching 100 clients in 17 countries. And so I know a thing or two about doing some stuff online is what I'm trying to tell you. So the whole online e-commerce world, this is something I kind of know. So let's jump right in and get going, since we do only have a short amount of time. But if anyone, like I said, wants to put their information in the chat on what they're trying to achieve, what they'd like to learn, what your industry is, Lisa, I'm sure, will be my amazing helper and help me shout out some of the stuff in the chat if you don't feel comfortable jumping on out loud.
I sure will.
Yeah, and please feel free to interrupt me. Nothing knocks me off my role. I'm very not too much phases me, as you know. All right, so here we go. So one of my best tips is, if you're going to be teaching a class, and you have an opportunity to do an article instead of a PowerPoint. I mean, sometimes a PowerPoint's super appropriate, right? And something really good to have and use for your class. And I'm a bit more live platforms and show you what I'm talking about versus no offense to anyone who's in love with PowerPoint, but the whole death by PowerPoint thing is too much for me. So I like when I have the opportunity and I really don't absolutely have to produce a PowerPoint, I'll instead produce an article. And I like creating them on LinkedIn because they're fast and easy. And breaking down some of what we're going to go through here. This way you have it to use as notes for later as the audience. And I have done, I've provided content for my company, as well as notes for you in the audience and a guide for us to go through all at the same time, right? So it's about leveraging your time. That's a very big thing in my world, is making sure that we're all being as efficient with our time as we can, because it's, our health, our time, family and love, like those are the top 3 things. And then all the other things come after that in my world. And so here we go. This is the e-commerce beginner's look at how to succeed, how to start your e-commerce business and succeed even with all the other crazy things happening in the world. This is today's class. We are going to look at selling online. Pretty much it's making sales while you sleep. What is this whole e-commerce thing? That is the big magic wish, right? It's how can we be successful while we sleep, right? And where do we start? And this is just kind of an introduction to that. Now, I love not reinventing the wheel because that just takes too much time. Why would I do that? So what you'll find here is as we go through, I'm providing you with many, many brilliant and amazing resources that will help you take this deeper and dig further, even after you're off this call with me, because this is not a class that can be covered in an hour. Let's just be honest. Well, I always say one of the reasons I introduce myself as the Italian mother of seven is because I'm going to tell you like it is. There is no fairy wand. There is a lot of work. There is things that have to be done. The good news is you don't have to do all the work, but I like to be really realistic, right? And have us keep ourselves grounded, let's say, and focused on what's a reasonable expectation. So reasonable expectations, that's what you should expect from me during this class. All right. Can't teach it in an hour. That's your first reasonable expectation. And first of all, the other people, what is e-commerce anyway, right? So I did cite my source, and I cite all my sources because I believe giving credit to those who did the work is mandatory. And this amazing site talks to us about e-commerce is pretty much buying and selling of goods or services over the internet. Now, this can be over phones and tablets and computers and however people buy stuff from you. Facebook Marketplace is a form of e-commerce, being on an eBay seller, being on Poshmark and Etsy and all the places. Any of that can be considered in today's day and age, e-commerce side hustle, right? Or whatever. I'll tell you, years ago, remember, I'm the woman with a million children, and fortunately we don't live in a shoe, but there was a time when I took all of the children's old clothes and toys, put them out on Facebook Marketplace, took that cash, put all of their brand new stuff on layaway, and paid off all the layaway for their new Christmas. So it was a complete swap. Like, I mean, I felt like I was the most brilliant mother out there ever because we had the money, but why spend it if you could just recycle? That's pretty much what I did. I took all their stuff, grabbed the fresh cash from people who wanted it, and then got the new stuff, and whammo bammo, that was done. So you can pretty much purchase just about anything, crazy stuff. You want to buy a goat? You could probably buy a goat online. I'm just going to say, I don't have the licenses or whatever's required for that, but I'm just going to tell you, you can buy just about anything online. And, let's keep it all things legal, because one of the things my husband and I love The Big Bang, and we were watching Sheldon try to order some necessary ingredients for some concoction he was going to come up with. And, I don't think you can get plutonium online, and maybe you can, but you shouldn't, so only buy and sell what's totally legal, but anything is out there. It's kind of crazy. Brick and mortar stores, at this point, for them to survive, they absolutely have to be both. So if you have a traditional business, you do need to look at putting everything that you possibly can in addition online. Interesting enough, I'm in a mastermind with several successful business leaders, and one of them happens to be a high-profile real estate agent. And even the real estate agent has had to look at creating things like information to sell online to supplement and in addition to her business. So one of the ways she has become global is or at least national, is in the space of referrals, so referring from one realtor to another, and that helps advance her revenue stream because she makes a commission when she refers nationally to another realtor. But in addition, has created ebooks and checklists and other tools that, from a consulting standpoint, she is able to sell to anyone in the world, and then thus has created an additional revenue stream with the e-commerce space. So, combining traditional brick and mortar that are very limited to a region. Another great example of this is a plumber, who creates an online course of how to prep your home and protect your home during the winter, right? From a plumbing standpoint, he could sell it for, $17 or something. It doesn't have to be expensive. It could be $27 for their little mini course to keep yourself straight and organized through the winter season. And that could be something they could sell to anyone in the world versus just being limited to servicing the small region that their cars and trucks and team can get to in person. So there are different market spaces. So you got your business to business sales, business to consumer, consumer to consumer, and consumer to business, right? So lots of different sales spaces, and that kind of all encompassing gives us, well, what is e-commerce anyway? The short story is anything you sell online, and the goal here is to make some sales while you sleep. I have to tell you, there is nothing more beautiful than waking up in the morning to seeing sales in your inbox. I know I personally love it. Okay, so here's the things that we're going to try to get through in our short time together in our short little 1 hour session. We're going to look at, oh, someone's drawing on the board. That's Lisa Layfield. All right, so we have, that's funny. We have choosing your niche, doing things right and setting up your business, the e-commerce platforms, that's a big piece of the decision making here, sourcing products, developing products, pricing, affiliate programs, marketing, creating an outline for starting, which is actually what kind of is happening through this little micro course and introduction to this process, and then also budget. And I'm going to give you some idea of what to think about there. All right, so e-commerce, what is the right space for you? I would love it. I'm going to take a peek at the chat just to see if anyone, I keep asking, but let's hope. Okay, so online coaching to expand. That is awesome. That's the only person who, other than the team, Lisa and her team, someone has shared. So online coaching is a great niche, and it is booming. But we'll talk about more how you can expand that as we go in, as we move forward. All right, so finding different niches. So I found a really great article on niches, but some of the things that are going to kind of separate you is what kind of pricing, because that has its own niche feel, right? So if you're selling high-end luxury items, then you really are going to be marketing, and the marketing is what is most affected by choosing this niche. And I'll be honest, I mean, niches are, I'd probably say about 80 to 90% awesome to focus on a niche, but that there are some cases, and I happen to be one of them, where I have niches, but they're hidden because I have divisions. My company is broken into multiple divisions. So it might look like to someone who didn't know the infrastructure of our company that, oh, well, she's marketing to, like, it seems like everyone, but we have definitely specific niches that we're focused on, but they're broken down into the different divisions of our company because we cover a lot of things, everything from leadership training to sales consulting for larger companies and organizations, to the work that we do, like with Lisa's organization, to the virtual assistant space that also has a series of niches, and our online classes is a different niche of customer avatar, if you would. So a specific customer is who those courses were designed for. And so as you grow, don't be afraid of that. Don't say, oh, I'm moving away from my one niche. My one niche is, organic frozen dog treats, and that's the only thing that I'm going to focus on. Well, your organization can have multiple really tight niches as you have success and a plan and a process and automation and everything set up for the one. You can then open up another one, right? So I have management teams and organizations that oversee some of those different divisions for me so that things are getting done. And that's how you can begin to grow. Demographics can also be a part of what your niche is. And, it's interesting. I don't necessarily agree to, this is a quote pulled from this article here, but the demographics, just because sports equipment sold to the young adults. But I don't believe that, because now more than ever, people even up into their 90s are still lifting free weights and keeping their body healthy. And there's this whole niche. So if you sold sports equipment, you might break yourself into divisions that you focus on a certain demographic for your products and your exercise classes or supplements or things that you sell. And you might focus on, this is for youth, young adults, midlife, and then even senior, right? Because those are all niches in this space, but they don't mean that they couldn't all be yours. Just take one at a time, develop them, get some automation, get some success, some revenue flowing, and then you can continue to pull, right? And the same with luxury items and jewelry. There is a demographic that are, and especially in the influencer space, and Instagram and TikTok and all these places, where there are very young, very high wealth individuals, right? It's the world is shifting. I mean, even as young as children, right? So think about that as its own special niche, because there's these young stars on YouTube who now have products in Walmart because of their YouTube channel. Like, that's a thing now. So, don't be pushed into a box based on what this information is sharing, but think about what your demographics are, right? And then you also want to think of the why do they buy. And I actually teach a class on why they buy and that concept of how people make decisions and how your specific customers to make decisions and how you can crack that code and understand what makes them move to action and make a purchase. Because those are things you really do need to know about your audience and about the niche. So the niche is the product and the service, but it's also the audience it's focused towards, right? So it's kind of a combination of the two as you're Googling it. Now, how do you decide? So if you haven't decided already, there's a couple of places between Google Trends and keyword spaces that can help you really figure out, how do I find out what's hot, what's trending now, what should I be promoting if I want to start taking an adventure into this space? And this guy, I don't know him, I don't have a relationship with him, but as I was doing my research, I found his video to be very, very helpful on this. And like I said, in an hour, I do not have the time to go through and give you everything you need, but I will share with you a couple of more websites. So this one was really good. And this one I pulled a quote from. So this is an article here, and that's in there. And then this is Google Trends. Now, Google Trends is a space that you can come in here, and let me take you back to home so you can see. Let me take you back a little bit so you can see how I got here, because I was playing with this prior to our class. So let's see if it'll remember how to get back home. Here we go. All right, so you search a main topic, and pets and pet food and all those kinds of things tend to be very hot items, right? Or I think I put in, let's put in homemade dog treats, just for fun. And we're in the United States, okay? And so that's something you want to think about. How far do you want your search to go? And let's see, we'll put that here. And then this is the past 12 months. Okay, the past 12 months is helpful, but it's not completely as helpful as we'd like it to be. So what we really want to see is the past 5 years. Okay, so you can go into Google Trends and put in your keywords. Now, this is a really good sign. You see this chart in the last 5 years, it's consistently has its spikes. Okay, which means it's a product that's probably going to have some longevity, that it'll continue to have seasons that it's very, very hot, right? And I'm imagining, since this is, look, what is this? Well, for some reason, January was really hot for homemade dog treats, but April, December, and December. So I'm guessing, guess what people do? What would you think? I bet they buy their dogs homemade dog treats for Christmas, because we have December on all the tops of these peaks. So we can guess that that is one of the hotter times for this product. And then, interesting enough, if we go with frozen dog treats, and the past 5 years, again, another really good one. But look, July, June. So it's going to even tell you when your best sales months are going to be, because this is over the course of the last 5 years. So this is really helpful information for you if you are looking to choose a product, to have multiple product niches. Then you can offset your times when things are high or things are low. I don't want to spend too much more time on this part, but there are lots of other tools. Okay, so there's this tool. This one is not free, but it gets way deeper down into filters and options that will help you figure out what your keywords are, what products you should be choosing, what sites are hot, what your top competitors' sites for that particular niche or keywords that they're using. And then this is another keyword tool. And this one also costs money, but this one also pulls it from many different places all at once, right? So instead of just Google Trends, it pulls it from a bunch of places to kind of help you. This one's free, and this is the one I included the video on because I do like to give you access to as many free tools as possible. Lisa knows that that's one of the things I like to do. Is there any more comments that we need to address?
Did you put the link? Can you put the link to the video?
Yeah, it's in the article. The whole article will go into the chat, and Bunky usually emails it out with the video replay.
Okay, great.
So that way you guys have that whole thing. Sorry, allergies. So I have an itchy nose. Okay, so one of the interesting things that you'll learn when you watch the video for this one, because this is the one that covers a lot of SEO and keyword, and this is good for you as a coach as well, whoever was looking at expanding their coaching business, because you can look at top coaches that you might be similar to and find out what keywords they're using, and find out some unique keywords that will draw things to you. And one of the cool things that they talked about is using adjectives like AdWords that would go with. So like if you were trying to remove weight, or if you had a wart removal and from whatever it is, you put in these subwords, like the words like remove or expand or grow, or like there's they give lots of examples in the video. And then you can go through here and see which of these products has an opening, really based on a space that you could really take benefit of. And so also you can think about what, as a coach, because that's the only industry anyone shared with me. So if someone else has another industry they'd like to share, I'm happy to give you examples too. Put it in the chat what you're looking at selling, your products, your services, what other kind of industries you're in, and I will help you specifically too. But as a coach, one of the things you want to do is have multiple revenue streams. So not only your own online courses, your own one-on-one time, your own group classes, your own master classes, your own networking, your own book, your own whatever. You also want to have things that people who would come to you from a coach's standpoint would want to buy. So if you're a business coach, then they're probably going to need legal support. If you're a weight management coach, they're probably going to need weight products, or weight exercise equipment, or clothing, or supplements, or what cookbooks, or whatever. These all do not need to be things that you've created. The idea of an e-commerce business is to be able to also sell things that other people have created and just build a following and make revenue on that as a whole. Just keeping in mind, you want it to be things that really benefit your community, right? So always look for good quality, do your best to vet them. However, always have, and I loved this one too, because this was top niches for this year. And Patel, he is really amazing in a lot of his training. Someone mentioned, and so I haven't coined this phrase, I'm sure someone else has said it too, but the YouTube University, right? If you can watch whatever he puts out there, a lot of great stuff on this space, on getting leads, on email marketing, on the whole e-commerce space. Patel does some really good training. Again, I don't know him, I just have followed a lot of his work. But they give you some really great niches, and some of that are, I mean, these all make sense, right? They're never going to go away. Well, digital marketing is kind of here to stay. Blogging and making money online, everyone wants to do it. We're all in this class right now. Health and fitness, personal finance and investing. I mean, recipes and food's not going away. Personal development and self-care. Let's hope we take care of ourselves. Those are all the niches that they're mentioning. And well, duh, those are all not going away. And they did the analytics and data to prove that this is stuff people are really interested in. And why wouldn't they be? Because they're just things that are part of our overall life in general. Okay. So what's hot and what sells? Okay, the other thing that I promised to talk to you about is how to do it right? How to set up your e-commerce business and do it the right way. One of the things I'm going to tell you is go see Lisa's people, right? Sit down with them, take advantage of that consulting time, take all these classes, because they will help you build a plan. They will guide you through some of the steps that you need to take so that you're getting it right. They will help you with funding and show you what some of the options are out there, and work with you and educate you on that. As a matter of fact, I saw a class coming up on Lisa's site when she shared originally on, I believe there was one coming soon on loans with MCA. Is that correct, Lisa?
Yes, that is May 11th.
Yeah.
From 12 to 1.
Yeah, so you want to take advantage of resources like Lisa has to help you get this in a row, right? But you do need a plan, you do need a business name, and so you want to do some Googling and searching on that, and trends and SEO on that as well, using some of the same tactics we just discussed. And also, to LLC or not to LLC, that is the question, right? So how do you structure it? So you're going to need some legal advice somewhere down the road. I am a rep of, I would say shameless plug, but I'm not ashamed. It's awesome, because I'm telling you, you need multiple revenue streams, and I do a lot of business coaching. And so here you go. This is my link for this. And I'm a big believer in really great legal advice for a really great price. And that has been my experience in all the years that I have used. And I use them for my affiliate program. I have them review contracts for me. I have them I created a baseline and then had them tweak my podcast legal release, like all of these things. And they're all included in my plan. Like, how brilliant and how awesome is that? And just be able to ask legal questions and not have to pay more is, in my world, in my opinion, outstanding. So also then getting yourself properly registered. So registering with the state or federal. So wherever you are, you need to register your business with the state. You need to get your EIN and all of your tax things kind of straight, and make sure everything is properly registered, right? And then in some cases, you may even need specific licenses and permissions to promote your type of product or service. I really liked these two articles as well. This one is all about setting up a business in Maryland and in general. And I think most of us are from there at this point for this class. And then this one is specifically what to do to set up your e-commerce business step by step. Like I said, you know, we have one whole hour with you. There's a lot of pieces to this puzzle. So I wanted to give you a ton of resources. And I'll make sure all those article links are in here. So insurance, and also making sure that you have your funds set up correctly. If you haven't, once you register your business and you get your stuff legally straight with the IRS and an EIN number, you know, federally and with the state, you do also want to have a bank account that is specific for your business. It'll make your end of the year taxes a less of a headache, and your CPA will probably love you if you're running everything through one account for business purposes only. So making sure you're doing that. And there are lots of interesting funding. There's lots of grants out there for lots of different reasons, everything from the industry you've chosen to the customers you serve to your historical or ethnic background, to where you're physically located, to what gender you are, to, believe it or not, what your faith belief system is. Like, there's a grant for just about every reason. So think about all the things that are special about you, you know, what college you went to, an alumni you might be a part of, whether you're male or female, what you believe in, what your business is, who you serve. All those might be reasons that there's access to grant funding for you. And grants are awesome because you don't have to pay those puppies back. Okay, grants are good. Grants are free money. It's free money. That's what they should call it. I don't know why they call it a grant, because free money is so much more exciting. Free money. Don't forget to look for free money that is good for you. Loans in the right places for business can be really good. There's still COVID loans out there. I still see the SBA and other places and economic development. And again, take the class with Lisa coming up, because there are definitely still money out there at wicked low. It's just about as close to free money as possible, like 1%, 2%, 3%, ridiculously low. I am not a lawyer, so, and I will always say at the beginning, normally I'm an Italian mother of 7, but I'm not your mama. I'm not going to give you medical, legal, financial, or any other kind of advice. I'm going to share with you what I know, what's worked for me. So that's my legal disclaimer. I'm just telling you there is money out there, and it may make sense to look for it, but you have to get the right guidance and do what's right for you. Angel investors is another interesting option. Also, there is even, I wouldn't say GoFundMe exactly, but there's business sites out there that will help you raise capital for your business startups. You know, sometimes as a gift, sometimes for a portion of the business. There are just so many options out there. Just don't ever think money as a limitation, because there is so much money out there. You know how much air there is? That's how much money there is. Just keep thinking like that. Abundance is there. And don't think that, oh, I want to make sure there's enough for everyone else. It's like saying, I want to make sure there's enough health for everyone else. I don't want to take too much health because I might take some health from somebody else. No, that's ridiculous. Doesn't that sound ridiculous? There's enough health for everyone. Everyone can be healthy. There's an endless supply of health. If we just want to make the right choices to receive it in some cases, right? There's also not going to be, you're not going to run out or take someone else's resources just because you have lots. So, you know, choose to think differently, and that will help. Mindset is important. Okay, here's the biggie, ladies and gentlemen. Here's one we're going to spend a bit of time on. Choosing an e-commerce platform. There are so many choices. Okay, I listed a wicked, ridiculous few, but we're going to actually look at many, a couple of different sites. You want to think about a couple of different things. The first thing you should be thinking about, in my opinion, is what is your goal for this business? Is it, yeah?
What was the legal website you mentioned?
Oh, the legal website here. I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
And full disclosure, this is my link. So, and I actually have a person I can private email introduce you to if you would like it. And they will have a pressure-free conversation with you and just explain everything because they support me with this. So what in the world?
Also, while you're looking for that, we do have a couple classes coming up in June. I forgot to mention.
Okay, good.
Since you were talking about the classes, one of them is how to turn your hobby into a side hustle. That's June 2nd. And then on June 9th, it's how to turn your side hustle into a business. So it's like a 2-part series. So hopefully everybody can join us for those. Also, if everybody can just put in the chat what works better for you, a day class or an evening class, I'm curious. We usually send out evaluations, but we don't tend to get them back. So if you can just let me know if evening is better or day. Because I think right now we have them planned for the day, but I can also do them in the evening. So
yeah, we shifted mine around because we were trying to help be available for everyone. Okay, so, and if you guys are feeling like you'd like more support, please put your information of what industry you're in and I will help you further. Okay, so the big goal, you want to think about when we're choosing an e-platform, the big goal. And if your big goal is to make 5 or 6 sales a month, then you're probably good at the entry-level product that each one of these sites we're going to talk about is going to give you. But I'm guessing that that is not good for you and that you're going to want to make lots of sales and grow this to, hey, I'm all for multi-million-dollar businesses. Why not us, right? Why not get to that mark and make that goal? Now, that being said, you're probably going to need the top of the line of what all these products and services have to offer from an e-commerce platform space. So you want to think about that. You want to look at their highest pricing package and say to yourself, are you really comfortable with that? Is that really based on the features that they're getting in comparison to other platforms, what you should be spending your money on as a company? And secondly, it needs to have a really strong affiliate program option in it that's easy. And you need to make sure that it talks to and works with your payment processor or however you want to receive payments and collect money. And then I would really caution you into doing something that you're manually doing too much of the packing and shipping yourself. There are so many places, and we're going to talk about sourcing products later. And products can be, again, products you create yourself, informational products and online courses. And where do we put those? And that's a kind of its own, almost a whole other class. But think about this. And I'm going to tell you from everything I've seen so far, nothing has massively impressed me. Now, granted, I'm also not selling t-shirts and coffee mugs and things like that. And if I was, I might look at some of these other places like Shopify and stuff, even though their top of the line is like $300 a month, because they also incorporate a marketing piece and because they're such a high frequented website themselves, right? So if you're just johnnytshirts.com versus Shopify and people are going there to look for Christmas gifts, and Etsy and those places where they're actually going to hunt for items, then it might be worth it. So you do have to kind of weigh, and maybe it's a combination of the two, right? Maybe you have your own WordPress website because the costs for that and the functionality and the growth ability with that are so much higher for itty bitty price versus some of these other ones I'm going to show you. But sometimes the answer isn't either or, sometimes it's and. So sometimes I have this and I have that. And so that's also the answer with a lot of your online courses from an educational standpoint. There's ways, and again, that's a whole nother class, really. I can't get into all of those things, but there is a system of how to price out your product and where to place your product, things that platforms and things you own in combination with other online course platforms that are more profitable and logical. So anyway, that's another complicated process. This was a great resource. And so I wanted to share with you, and I think I just accidentally closed it because sometimes when there's so many tabs, let's do a history. Recently closed. Oh, I thought I just closed it. Well, that's a bummer. Okay, so this is a platform. Oh no, this is the article, thank goodness. All right, so this is the article of a ton of platforms and kind of the pros and cons, and it was just too good not to share with you guys of all these different spaces and what they liked and what they didn't like about them. This is a really popular one, and I will tell you, this is another pros and cons. Shopify is a really popular one. There is a lot of pros and cons here, and this website lists out, and at the top of the line, they are at $300 a month. Now that's not where you start, and you can grow up with it as you grow your profits, but you do want to kind of think this through before you jump in the very beginning. This is another site that you can use to build your e-commerce platform. So it's everything from, we're going to, excuse me, since we're running out of time already and I haven't even taken you through all of these, this is another really great site that will help you. It's everything from Wix to Shopify, to this one, to PrestaShop. This is another one that's actually this one, and multi-vendor. Multi-vendor is one that's much like almost an e-com, like a eBay, if you would, because it's multi-vendor based. But this one has some interesting opportunities and actually works with some high-level clients. But doesn't mean it isn't affordable for you. But really take some time here and talk to, put something out on Facebook or and say, hey, if you have an e-commerce shop, what platforms do you use and do you like and why? And do a little research and spend a little time thinking about this. Because let me just tell you, if you do a 14-day trial and you've set everything up and you've loaded all your pictures and you've loaded all your products, and you've done all your things, you're not leaving. Okay, so do your homework first. Don't say, oh, I'll try this one out and then see how I like it. Because let me just tell you, once you do that work, you are not going to want to do it again. So, and this is a really great shopping cart. And then this one's the create a website in minutes. This is the Squarespace. And again, their pricing can get really up there too monthly, I think. This is the other one that I thought was kind of high. Of course, I don't see a pricing button. But sell anything, create a website, but beware of the price. And this was the one that was multi-vendor. So it's a little bit like your eBay of the world, right? And then this one was interesting to me. So a lot of you have heard of Salesforce. It's a CRM system. Well, maybe you've heard of it, but they also have an e-commerce piece. Again, interesting to consider because they have a big reach and a lot of workflows and automation and kind of what they're famous for, and customer nurture and some things like that. So I'd have been interested if I was opening something brand new to research this a little more deeply. Now, be careful because you want to look at their top product, right? Now, WooCommerce, this is the piece that I use, and that's connected to my website. And this is how on my personal site, I set up products and things like that. And it's a very, very inexpensive. I think I bought it once and we run the updates and that's it. And I think it was less than $100 and I paid it one time, right? So you want to try it. Now I still need to maintain my website and things like that, but have someone run my updates and check my security and make sure I'm compliant. And that's going to be no matter what site you use, you're going to want to make sure that's the case. And then this is another option.
Jessica,
Yes.
so with the WooCommerce, was there a monthly fee?
No,
Just that one time?
yeah, it's a plugin. Now, I mentioned those other things like running updates and checking for security. And when you run updates, sometimes you need to make sure that it isn't broken and all of those kinds of things. So you do end up paying, well, at least I do, pay someone to maintenance my site, but that's not the same thing as having to pay monthly for these sites, right? All right, so we're going to move to suppliers because I think that's our next piece, but let me go back and check. All right, so yeah, sourcing your product and then pricing your product. Now I did include the link in here. This is a fantastic, and if you're going to look at products, there's a whole lot to think about, but I would say to you, one of the number one things is, reviews and reliability, quality of the product, as well as the shipping piece. Like, are they paying? How is all that worked out? Are they packaging and shipping it? What does it look like when your client receives it? All of these things, because the whole, exciting, oh yes, drop shipping and all that, doesn't that sound, and everyone's going to get rich overnight with drop shipping. E-commerce websites, and you might have heard of, if you've heard about that, it's Alibaba and drop ship direct and all of these things, but you really kind of need to read what are the pros and cons and what do they handle. See, and they handle all of the shipping and logistics for you, and they also interrogate inventory, and they integrate sales data right into your site, or integrate, sorry. They interrogate. They really should interrogate it, because we really need to be really making sure that the quality is high. This late at night, if I can read my own name, we're in good shape. All right, so you want to make sure that you're really checking for quality and doing your research. And basically, in the beginning, the best way to do that is by reviews, by testing, by sampling, by trying out, stuff if you can, making the smallest collaboration and purchase that you can with them, and then having some of that shipped to your own, make some of the small purchases to your own home so that you can see what your customer receives. Really having a good relationship and having more than one option is going to be awesome. But I thought this was such a fantastic resource of these options that I couldn't resist.
Right. Jessica, we have a question.
Yep.
What if you were already on website or already have a website on Wix? How do I better use to expand?
So if you already have a website, well, let me just get I'm almost there. So I'm going to answer that in 1 second, if you don't mind.
Okay.
So pricing. So I want you to think about what your product is, what your efforts are, yours and your team's, shipping, loans, marketing, affiliate programs. You need to be incorporating in your budget for your price of your product a piece, and that helps answer your question about your Wix. What do they sell on Wix? Can they tell me? What are they selling? You want to include a small cushion in your pricing for affiliates to promote this for you and on your behalf. That's one of the biggest and best ways that people don't realize they can expand, because affiliate programs can also be used for nonprofits as fundraisers. So large influencers and people who have huge followings, like I have almost 50,000 on my email list, and I have thousands on social media that follow me. I'm a great affiliate partner. So if people have affiliate fees for their products, then I promote and share them. I mean, I do it anyway, but that's a motivator for me and my company to spend time and energy to promote someone else's something if there's small amount of revenue in for me. Now, my website, I have affiliate programs for all my online courses and all my products and things. And I have large nonprofits that are my affiliate, as well as other influencers and coaches and speakers and online course developers and other companies and things that have decided to be an affiliate of my products and promote them, including American Cancer Society. And I've done some stuff with hospice and another large nonprofit. So that's a really big way that you can look at growing more organically and not having to pay a bunch of Facebook ads or ads, is having affiliate programs and collaborative marketing and what people call sometimes solo ads, which is, it's not an ad at all, really. It's a swap, right? It's an email list swap where you share your links and stuff with my audience and I share my links and stuff with your audience. You know, you can look at other people that complement your space and make those trades. So now we're getting into the answer of the person's question. How do I expand, right? Marketing, right? There is no business, there is no sales, right? Without marketing, there are no sales. So video, email, blog, affiliate, there's an entire class that I do. I do an out of the box way to promote your online courses, events, and products and everything else class. And I have an article on that we cover tons of things that you can do to help expand and grow what you're currently selling on your e-commerce site. In this particular class, I promised it to be kind of an overview of everything you need to do to figure out how to start up. We are wrapping to an end, so hopefully if that person has some more questions, we can actually have some dialogue and you can unmute. But budget-wise, you want startup costs to think about, marketing costs, and expanding costs. And really a much more detailed budget than that. Sit down with the team, with Lisa's team, and really build out a plan like we spoke of in the very beginning of the class. The other thing I'm going to tell you before I stop, and in the world of video, streaming to multiple places, I'm going to tell you two more things. Streaming to multiple places, three, I lied. Three more things. Streaming to multiple places at one time is thebomb.com, because remember I talked about saving time as much as humanly possible. This is the very best, and I have my team and I have researched every single platform, and I do get a little love if you share or use my link, but I'm going to tell you Restream is the best, because you can have guest streamers that just people who like you and love you can work with you, and you can also have run your live stream video about your product, which is a great way to expand your Wix website already to many, many platforms, up to 30 at once. In addition to, I'm losing my train of thought because it's getting late. In addition to running it on your own platforms, you can get people to share those links. And then instead of, just running it through one, you're running it through many, which is a huge, huge help, because we've got to do things that save our time. Another important thing, there's two more things that save time. One is, maybe you can't afford a virtual assistant agency, but you really can afford a virtual assistant. Most people can. You can get someone to help you with video editing and figuring out these platforms and setting things up and running your SEO and checking on your website for just a few dollars an hour. This is my link again, but it is my link and where I find a lot of our team members when I hire and train them to help support our clients all over the world. You can put in everything from social media manager to video editor to Shopify expert to Wix expert to WordPress expert, and then you can scan and find people from all over the world for very reasonable rates. You can search them by skill set, by where they're located, by all kinds of different filters, which is fantastic. And then lastly, I'll tell you about Otter. So you do need, whether you're doing blogs and articles or videos or posts or email lists and email blasts and email series, you need to have all this content, right? And one of the easiest ways to develop content is, cut a video and then upload that video to Otter and transcribe it into a blog, which also gets put on LinkedIn as a partial article. So you lead them to the full blog on your website. You can use a lot of the quotes from that for just short posts and snips. You can use some of the data from that into your email threads and chains. Just try to make sure you're doing things that make your life easier and multi-purpose your efforts. Even if you just wanted to write an article and you didn't have time to do a video, you could just talk on Otter about your knowledge, the topic of the product, describe the product. If you don't want to write these really long 5,000 word product descriptions for items, you can talk and talk and talk and talk and talk about that product. And then download that transcript and edit slightly, or pay someone to edit slightly that description, and then have a really nice long form description, which is going to help your SEO, which is going to help you get more organic found and spend less on actual ads. So hopefully this email e-commerce class was helpful and useful for all of you. Oh, let me put the article link in the chat so you'll have that.
Also, I recommended that Lisa email you directly because she had some questions and her mic is not working.
Oh, okay. All right. I can
But she
cover.
was the one that was asking about if she's on Wix already, how do I better use to expand? But then you said something about selling, but she said nothing. So I don't think she's selling on there
All right.
right now. But anyway, I just thought she should email you.
And if she's not selling anything here, I'm not sure. Sustainable and reusable, I think it's supposed to be reliable or refillable products. I don't know what kinds of exactly. Those are.
Unmute yourself, Annette, if you'd like, if you have a question.
Sustainable products. Bubbles are fun.
It's hi, this is Annette. This was great. It's an e-commerce to sell sustainable products like laundry sheets and reusable
Oh yeah.
products for sustainability.
Right. So you're really going to do well to watch the keywords piece that I was sharing in that video, because they're really going to teach you how to pull some really interesting keywords to add to your content so that you are ranking higher in that space. And that will help a lot. But content is going to drive traffic, and then relationships, right? Build relationships with the heads of, think about who is your customer. I'm imagining it's great for families and moms with children who want to use more organic, healthier things for their family and their home, right? And if there's a leader of a mom's group that has 5,000 followers in it, if you're able to reach out to them, especially if you have an affiliate option, and say, hey, let's collaborate, feature me in front of your group and your following, and we'll use your affiliate link, and it'll be a win-win for everybody, right? Your community will get some great information about some wonderful products that'll help our planet and their families and their children, and then you'll get a small revenue. So I don't know if that's built in, that kind of pricing is built into your product or not, is it?
No, I'm just starting out. I do have someone I'm working with, partnering with, who's in across the Bay Bridge in Stevensonville. So I'm looking at maybe doing some pop-ups for now and finding products, getting the pricing, and also putting those up on an e-commerce site.
Okay.
But I guess part of the thing is I'll need to email who's the woman, not Jessica, but the host of MCE, because I'm in Prince George's County and I see you guys are in a different space. So I need to find someone in my area for startup advice.
You're on mute, Lisa.
You can contact the Women's Business Center there. It's the Maryland Women's Business Center in Rockville.
Okay.
Which is PG County as well, covers PG County. So
I think her email address is in the chat also, Annette, and she'll, you can always email her and ask her.
yeah, I have my email in there. So
Great, thank you. I appreciate it.
And
you're
Lisa,
welcome.
Lisa, it says no, that's why I'm in the class. I'm not sure what that was referenced.
Well, I don't know either. I sent Lisa a message. You know,
Um,
she could email you questions. I don't know if she's responding to that or if she's replying to something you said.
Annette, since you were brave enough to unmute, was there anything that you're excited about that you learned in the class, or anything new that you had never heard before? Or hopefully I helped with something.
Oh, you did? No, absolutely. I mean, the product guidelines that you shared, where to find product. The pricing is the one thing I think I'm going to struggle with a little bit. I'm working out a business plan and the finding grants. I feel like this where what I'm doing, there are grants out there for sustainability, especially through local governments and development through the county. But yeah, I mean, I've done a little bit of this stuff before. I'm a director. I work at a nonprofit that does this type of work, global level, and I thought I'd start something on my own as I'm trying to phase out there. So I'm just starting out, and I'm really excited. This has been super helpful. I'll be following you on LinkedIn and of your other businesses. So more than likely, I'll be reaching out to get some help on the websites and all the other stuff. And I've used Otter AI, and I love it. I absolutely adore it. That was the best thing in the world I found last year. So thank you for that as well.
My pleasure.
Jessica does a LinkedIn class, has done several LinkedIn classes for us. So when we ever do another one, you'll have to be sure to join us. Because that's phenomenal. She has so much information about LinkedIn. I don't know how she has it all up in her head, along with everything else she juggles.
Yeah, I like I said, I'm phasing out of, I work 12, 15 hours a day. So I'm trying to phase out of that kind of work and do all of this for myself right now. And as I'm raising a family as well. So I think this has been very helpful, and it's been wonderful really to hear all of this information. I took lots of notes.
Oh, awesome. Caitlin Marshall, did we help you with anything, or do you have any questions? I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know if you're able to unmute. Caitlin, are you still with us?
Yeah, sorry. I just had to hand off my daughter to my husband.
I understand.
But yes, I learned a lot. Thank you.
Oh, good, good. Is there any specific business you're trying to start?
No, I'm looking to possibly get into HR or accounting
Oh, cool.
after I graduate. Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. Well, that GoLance link I shared, you can actually set up a profile to do freelance work. And it's totally free for you to do that. So use that link, set yourself up a profile. And a lot of people from the United States are on there as well. So you just put your hourly rate and people find you. And there's actually job postings for HR right now. And you could even get in on an entry level and do some freelance work and as you're finishing through school. So a lot of opportunities on GoLux, both for people looking to hire as well as people looking to be hired. So that's a great resource.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm so sorry we can't talk to Lisa Daniels. I know she has so many questions, so feel free to email me and hopefully we can link up some other way. Did anyone else have any other questions or want to share something that they were excited about that they learned before we say goodbye? Zainab, or we got a couple of KAs on here. Anybody there unable to share? You guys still there? They're very shy.
Lisa just said she's not selling anything right now.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm taking the class.
Okay.
I think she wants to know about how to expand on her website.
Right.
So that she can start selling.
Right.
I think is what she's looking for. She said she'll email.
Okay.
That way I'm not trying to decipher. I'm sorry. That way she can ask exact questions. So that would be great, Lisa. Thank you. I'm sorry your mic's not working. Well, thank you all for
Just-
joining us tonight. Thank you so much, Jessica.
Oh,
We
wait.
appreciate all you do.
KA was gonna say something. KA, did you want to say something? We have multiple Ks.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I was in the process of you know, it's when I mentioned bubbles, I was in the process where I was told to kind of do the research and discovery of seeing if it's really a needed product or whatnot. So I'm just like in the process of like the beginning stages, but then I was gonna plan to do it through one of the websites that you mentioned.
Yeah, I gave you quite a few resources for that beginning process, and really look at that video that's inside the article, because he has some great guidance step by step on that free tool. That's a free tool, and it was more detailed than some of the other tools that cost money. So check that out, because that really helps you in the very beginning stages where you are right now with your bubbles.
Great. So we will definitely send this recording to everybody, and then you'll have a copy of the chat. So all the links will be in there. So you'll have both of our emails as well. And again, thank you all for joining us. Don't forget, we have another class tomorrow night, same time, for branding. If you'd like to join us, please do. But be sure to register. You have to register in order to get the link. So go to our website and register for that. All right. Thank you so much, Jessica, and happy bacon tonight.
Yeah, the other Lisa was just telling me that.
Thanks so much. Appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Jessica volunteers for us, so we appreciate
Caitlin.
her.
Caitlin had another question.
Oh,
Did
I
you-
was just saying thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Bye,
Thank you,
everybody.
Caitlin. Thank you all. Good night.